In the final months of 1942, when hope seemed buried beneath the snow and ruins of Stalingrad, a new plan began to form deep within the Soviet command. A plan bold enough to change the course of the war and risky enough to fail before it even began. This plan had a name whispered only in secure rooms and coded messages: Operation Uranus. It would not strike the strongest points of the German lines. Instead, it would strike the weakest. The flanks defended not by the hardened Wehrmacht, but by the overstretched armies of Romania, Italy, and Hungary. While the Germans pushed relentlessly toward the center of Stalingrad, the Soviets gathered strength in silence. Train after train arrived through blizzards and frozen nights, unloading tanks, men, ammunition. Fresh divisions, hardened by winter and driven by the determination to liberate a city on the brink of death. The German Sixth Army believed the Soviets were nearly finished. They didn't see the storm gathering beyond the horizon. And then, on a bitter November morning, the sky erupted. Artillery thundered across the steppe, shaking the frozen ground with hundreds of simultaneous blasts. The bombardment rolled like a wave, a deafening signal that the tide of war was turning. From the white haze of snow and smoke, Soviet tanks surged forward, T-34s, their engines roaring in the icy air, cut through the defensive lines with brutal efficiency. Infantry followed close behind, moving swiftly across the frozen plains, their footsteps muffled by snow, their breath rising like steam in the cold. Romanian lines collapsed under the weight of the assault. In hours, entire positions were swept aside. What the Germans had believed unbreakable now broke with alarming speed. For the first time since the battle began, the invaders felt fear. As the Soviets advanced from the north and south, a vast encirclement began to take shape. It grew hour by hour, a tightening ring of steel and determination closing around Stalingrad itself. Inside the city, the German Sixth Army continued fighting, unaware of the trap forming around them. Smoke and snow obscured the battlefield, but even through the blizzard, one fact became undeniable. The hunters were becoming the hunted. On the third day of the Soviet offensive, German commanders realized the truth. The path west, their lifeline, was gone. They were surrounded. Tens of thousands of soldiers now stood isolated in a frozen wasteland of ruined factories, broken streets, and crumbling hope. The Soviet offensive did not stop. Columns of tanks pushed deeper, meeting little resistance as they sealed the last escape routes. Engineers built makeshift bridges across icy streams. Infantry marched without rest, and artillery moved close enough to strike at the heart of the trapped army. Within days, the encirclement was complete. It was vast, a ring stretching dozens of kilometers across the snow-covered steppe. A ring too strong to break and too cold to survive. Inside the pocket, German morale collapsed. Officers issued orders that no longer mattered. Supplies dwindled. Roads vanished beneath winter storms. Desperation grew with every passing hour. For the Soviets, victory was no longer a dream. It was becoming reality. But it came at a cost paid in blood, frostbite, and unending exhaustion. Soldiers who had fought for months in the ruins now pushed forward with renewed purpose. Their faces, hardened by ice and loss, reflected the grim determination to end this nightmare once and for all. By late December, the once mighty German Sixth Army was reduced to pockets of resistance scattered across the frozen ruins. Their radios crackled with broken messages, their supplies were nearly gone, and their hope had turned to ash. The Soviets closed in from all directions, methodical, relentless, unstoppable. Operation Uranus had not only succeeded, it had reshaped the entire Eastern Front. And as the noose tightened, one truth became clear to the world. Stalingrad was no longer a battle. It was a turning point, a moment where an entire war shifted, and a defeated people rose from destruction to reclaim their future. The counterattack had begun, and nothing could stop it now.